Hello and welcome to A View from the Cab. On Twitter I saw a story about Strictly Come Dancing. You know, it's a British show all about ballroom dancing. Not my cup of tea in the least. You know, it just doesn't entertain me. It's not my thing, so I don't watch it. Simple as that. I don't like it, so I don't watch it. But on Twitter they're talking about Strictly Come Dancing, and they started off their show with a drag routine. Now, for anybody that's been living in the dark ages or under a rock or whatever, you know, drag act is men dressed as women that come out and they dance or perform or do a turn somehow, you know, to the amusement and entertainment of others. You know, but what people are complaining about now is this drag act apparently promotes homosexuality. How that works, I'm not really sure, because when you break down what a drag queen is simply a man that dresses up as a woman and sings and dances and tells jokes and amuses and entertains people, or hopes to, which, when you think about it, is no different than a pantomime. You know, you go to a pantomime, what are the pantomimes? You've got Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and you've got Aladdin, and I don't know, pantomime doesn't really entertain me at all. I've never really liked pantomimes, even when I was a kid and we used to go on them as school trips. For me, it was just a case of, I'm glad to be out of the classroom. But you know, so you've got all these what's the other one? There's quite a few pantomimes, and the main aspect of pantomime is the whole man dressing as a woman or a woman dressing as a man. Jack and the Beanstalk, usually you have a woman will play Jack, the role of Jack, even though Jack in Jack and the Beanstalk is a bloke. Cinderella, you know, and the Ugly Sisters are always played by men, even though, just a quick aside here, the Ugly Sisters were never meant to be actually ugly to look at, just ugly on the inside. They was ugly people, but that's a different thing. So yeah, so drag queens are no different. It's no different than going to a pantomime. I suppose the difference is, with a drag show, the whole thing is about the drag acts, the drag queens, whereas a pantomime does tell the actual story of Cinderella, Jack and the Beanstalk, Snow White, whatever the case may be. But in no way can a drag act promote homosexuality. It just simply isn't. It blows my mind that people would even think, oh, I've just seen a guy dressed as a woman. I'm gay now. I went to see a pantomime when I was at school. I went to see a couple school trips, you know, merely as a way of getting out of school. You know, a pantomime was marginally better for me than sitting doing schoolwork. But that's by the by, you know. But there was no time when I was watching these pantomimes as a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old thinking, well, he's come out dressed as a woman. I better turn gay now. I like blokes. You know, I like blokes now. That's it. You know, it just doesn't work that way. I mean, I've seen guys walking along, you know, what they're called, transvestites, I think. It might not be the politically, or cross-dressers, whatever the politically correct term might be. You see blokes walking around in skirts and stuff and whatever, right? And that's perfectly fine. If you want to go out in a skirt, that's entirely your business. It might make your legs a bit cold. That's the one bonus of wearing trousers. You know, but if that's what you want to do, then you crack on, you go ahead. But there's never been a time when I've seen a cross-dressing man walking down the street and I've thought, he's dressed like a woman. I like blokes now. I mean, you know, and the fact that just to circle back, if you're watching Strictly Come Dancing, you're already watching a bunch of men prancing around in sparkly sequin costumes. You know, you're already there anyway. You know, it's just the fact that he's wearing sequin trousers, not a sequin skirt. You know, if you want to watch Strictly Come Dancing, if that's your thing, then you crack on, you watch it. I mean, drag queens have never really been my thing. My daughter used to watch the RuPaul's Drag Race on Netflix, and you know, if I was around, I'd sit there and I'd watch the program, and all the drag queens are performing with a view to getting a big money deal somewhere, I suppose, getting publicity. They've already been on the drag circuit for a while, and they just want to get more recognition. Whatever their motives are, that's fine. It's nothing really to do with me. But so I would watch. I'd sit there, and if RuPaul's Drag Race was on when I happened to walk into the front room, I'd sit there and watch it. I wouldn't say to my daughter, "I'm sorry, my love, you've got to turn this off. You might turn into a rug muncher, you know, because you've got men dressed up as women, singing and dancing and telling jokes. You know, you could go on the turn." You know, I don't think people realise. I mean, as I understand it, if you're gay, you're gay. You don't sort of think, well, you know, that man dressed as a woman, oh, he's turned me. I don't think it really works like that. And to go on to social media, to go on to Twitter, the world is watching. You know, everybody can see your small-minded remarks, your questions, you know, grumbling, promoting homosexuality. And it surprises me that in this day and age there are people that are that small. You know, it boggles my mind. And even if it does even say, for instance, if you was really stretching it, you know, and it was, hypothetically speaking, promoting homosexuality, you've got a choice. You could sit there and you could say, this program is promoting homosexuality, I'll change over. And you reach for the remote control and you change over. It really is that simple. I don't understand how some people, these small, narrow-minded, closed-minded people, I don't know what they're scared of. I don't, to be honest, thinking about it, I don't know what they're scared of. You've got a bloke that likes blokes. I mean, the Yorkshire Ripper, he was heterosexual, wasn't he? And you've got more reason to be worried about him than a bloke that likes blokes. You know, there's been plenty of heterosexual serial killers and sexual sadists and, you know, that sort of thing. You know, these absolute, you know, I mean, some of the stories you know you've read in the papers over the years and seen on the news of Fred West, he was, oh, mind you, this argument sort of falls apart now, doesn't it? Because Rose West, I think she liked young ladies as well. Maybe there is a thing in it. I don't know. Who can say? It's just so laughable. It is so laughable. You know, you get women that like women, men that like men, some that like both, some that like neither. But just because you're watching a TV show, I mean, I asked my daughter this morning, I said about it, I mentioned it, and I said, have you been on Twitter? And she said no. And I said, well, this whole Strictly Come Dancing thing. And she said yeah. She said, I saw it. She said it was a bit weird. She said it was a bit unnecessary, really. It didn't really fit in with the show. She said, but you know, she was like me. But there you go. It was what it was. You know, I don't think she's going to start coming home with a girlfriend or anything just because she's watched a man in a dress or skirt or tights or high heels. I mean, kudos to these drag queens. If you could, I mean, you know, some days I barely can walk around in boots. you know. But these guys can manage to walk around in these ridiculously high heels, you know. So I don't understand. Anybody can do it, really. It's, you know, standing there I suppose would be hard enough, but yeah. So Strictly Come Dancing, not my cup of tea. You know, I wouldn't watch it. I find it boring. Does it promote homosexuality? I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say definite no. I mean, if you're already watching ballroom dancing with men in sparkly sequin outfits, I don't think you've got much to worry about, really. You're already there, you know. I mean, they made a big thing about what's that boxer's name? She was I want to say Nicola Roberts, the boxing girl, the boxer, and she was in a same sex dance act thing. I think she had to leave the Strictly thing because I think they come down with COVID or something. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe because they were in a same-sex dance pairing. Maybe that's why they caught COVID. Maybe, you know. Good God. And you say these things, but there's probably, you know, I say these things truly in jest, but there's probably people out there that would say, well, you know, if they hadn't have been a same-sex pairing, they probably wouldn't have got that. Well, you know, you say it in jest, but there's probably people out there that would genuinely believe it and say, yeah, see, I told you, didn't I tell you? You know, nobody said, oh, that's promoting lesbians. Nobody said that, did they? I don't know. I don't understand. I just don't understand people that watch these programs and then go, oh well. But the thing is, they'll still be tuning into it next week. They'll still come back to it next week and watch it again. I think people just want something to moan about. You know, if you start watching a program, what's these other ones? The I'm a Celebrity. Yeah, that's a joke. And I'm a Z-list celebrity. Get me out of here. You know, I mean, I used to watch it. I don't anymore. I think it's a bit crap. That's my choice. I've watched it and thought, yeah, that's run its course now. But my choice is to just not watch it. That's the power I have, is to say, nah, it's boring, I'm not going to watch it now. There's only so many times you can watch a bloke eating snails or spiders or sitting in a snake pit. It just yeah, all right, yeah, it was all right the first few years, but now you've just kicked it to death. Do you know what I mean? Come up with something new and I might come back and watch it, but but my choice, my power, my prerogative is to just pick up the remote control and switch over or switch off and go and do something more constructive. So anyway, that is my view from the cab on this murky, horrible, misty, foggy, damp, horrible morning. So I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.